straight, the final straight before the last bend, and then onto the main straight, and that's when the race will begin. The Honda will pull off in a moment and get out of the way and pull into the pits and leave these guys to go racing.
Look at this. This is American brute power versus paddle shifting, all the technology in the world Ferrari, modern Ferrari.
Yeah,
this is going to be me. I don't know who I'd give the start to. I think Wally Dallenbach's going to take it.
Well, it's going to be interesting. As you say, it couldn't be more juxtaposed. You've got Porsche versus Ford, Ferrari up there as well, Jaguar. It really is a cracking field. Here we go then.
Look for Benoit to duck in at turn 3.
And the 44 of Wally Dallenbach does get away in the middle of your picture there. Now he jigs to the right-hand side to get a good slingshot into turn 1 and does exactly that, leading in the number 44. The mighty Wally Dallenbach Jr. leads them through turn 2 at the kink. A really good, strong field here in Group 10 as they head towards the first overtake, potentially at 3.
Benoit came back and took him at turn 3 in that Ferrari over that Rocket Sports Jaguar.
He's really stretching his legs already, Wally. He's got, what, a massive lead already as they head down to the hairpin for the first time. He really is putting down some pace in that Cobra.
He is, and he's got a lot of experience in that car, but he's also got a lot of experience in cars like that, being a 2-time TA champion in training.
Everybody files through the hairpin, queuing up for their best position. Through goes the number 10 of Wallo Bertschinger, who was, of course, involved in that previous race a moment ago. So everybody pushing hard in terms of time out on track. Stephen Davidson's having another run too. First time we've seen Debbie Cloud, but John Cloud has already been out this morning already. So everybody getting a good amount of time on the Sebring track, and that's something I was listening to Tony Perella's sort of team talk to the drivers in SVRA, and he said, don't you worry, we've gone out of our way to give you as many sessions, and you'll all have plenty of time on track, and that's what they want.
That is, and then you noticed a lot of these modern GT cars that were racing with us in International GT. If you race with International GT, you also have the option to race in Group 10, so you basically double your track time.
Yeah, that's. I mean, of course, that's the whole reason for these guys. These guys, for them, it's almost, you know, a chance to go racing, but it becomes like a test day because you're never out of the car.
That's true. Wally Dallenbach Jr., followed by a 2-time champion at Trans Am, followed by a 2-time Maranello Cup champion, Benoit Bergeron.
Yeah, like you say, there's many a star out there. Let's have a look at the pace he's on. 2:07.062 by Wally on his first lap. Meanwhile, Benoit crosses the line at 2:14. So Wally Dallenbach really take it to him in that first lap, Ben. 7 seconds he's pulled out of them. American muscle is alive and kicking.
But watch for Bobby Kennedy. He's probably about 21 years old. He's in that 1968 Corvette at the back of this pack. But I know him to be a very talented driver. He co-drove with Kerry Hitt here a few years ago in TA, and that is a pretty powerful car, but he has some unbelievable sports car skills. So watch for Bobby Kennedy to potentially move his way up. He's definitely outclassed, but I think he's got the skill of this group.
Well, here's a question for you. You mentioned youngsters, and we're doing historic racing. I know this when Greenlight took me to Monaco a few years ago, and we did the historics there. Just how many young drivers were involved and making a name for themselves in historic racing, and it's now becoming a way to go racing and a way to get really good at becoming a racing driver. Are you seeing that more and more?
Yeah, and I would definitely suggest that to anybody, because a lot of people come from kart racing into something else, but with this, these cars are very difficult to drive, these vintage cars, you know, because they don't have any power aids, any kind of traction control. They're on bias ply tires, most of them. So you really have to learn to drive with momentum, right, with skill. So then once you do get yourself into like a modern GT car with all the driver aids, racing and driving seems that much easier. So it's almost like an 800-pound or an 800 horsepower go-kart with some suspension and geometry, you know, that you can move up to. And I think a lot of people are looking at this, and there's just a ton of track time, and there's no politics of moving into more of a professional series.
Yeah, no one's trying to take you out. You can learn and keep learning, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing is the cars seem to keep going up in value.
Yes, absolutely.
So you could buy that Jaguar we're looking at, you could race it for 2 years, and then you might be able to sell it for 30% more than you paid for it.
Now, it looks as though Charles Wicht has got the better No, or is that Charles Wick? We're looking at Benoit Bourgeon, but it was the Jason McCarthy who's come through. So McCarthy, I think, has gone up the board dramatically, and we'll see as they cross the line. There's the 97 of Lance Usek as he comes into sunset. And let's take a look. No, Charles Wick it is in second place. Dallenbach still leading.
There's Bobby Kennedy. He is a really good driver. That car is for sale, by the way. You can see the for sale sign. I believe he's about 21 years old. This is his home track, but he has this track dialed in. He should not be able to be keeping up with this group in front of him in that car, but he has the skills to do it.
It was Charles Wick who got second place. That's the man chasing Wally Dallenbach, but he's some 10 seconds in arrears. Benoit Bourgeon is still third. Henry Gilbert fourth. Frank Coppadini is in fifth place, and I'm trying to get his pronunciation right, but it sounds Italian, so I'm going with Coppadini. Jason McCarthy sixth. Mark Sharon in seventh place. Bobby Kennedy, the youngster you mentioned, in eighth. Lance Osek, we just saw go through sunset at 9th, and Ray Bethron in 10th position at the moment.
Eagle went off there in the hairpin. And Breathless Racing, Trans Am team champions. They have a couple of. Lance Osek is one of the guys in this group driving with Breathless, so they're doing Trans Am and SVRA duties. Ernie Francesini preparing those cars very well as we look at Bobby Kennedy coming up on Benoit Bourgeon. And that 68 Corvette somehow doing. I think Benoit's, after the IGT race, I think he's losing his tires a little bit.
You know, you wouldn't think that possible, would you, with such a modern car like that Ferrari, not being able to hold off what is a much heavier and probably docile, and I don't mean that in the rude way, but not an easier car to handle compared to the Ferrari.
That Corvette is not going to outbreak that Ferrari, that's for sure.
That's what I'm thinking. Coming down the Almond Straight then, Charles Wick in the 77. There he is. And behind him, a host of other cars. Here's Benoit in third position, and he's got that Corvette all over him.
Ooh, Bobby Kennedy goes outside, slowing down. I think he lost his brakes a little bit. Like I said, he's going to play it safe. Ooh, Benoit came into the pits. Bobby Kennedy ducks out. Bobby's going to play it safe because that car is for sale.
Well, we're just having a look out the commentary booth window, and sure enough, the 127 Ferrari is in. And I'm not sure what happened there, but he's out of the running. Henry Gilbert now moving up to third position. Through goes the 96 of Ray Bonthron. That's it. I got it. Ray Bonthron.
John Kyle the second, followed by Donnie Strickland right there in that Verizon. Can't tell if that's a car of tomorrow or just a more modern stock car. Harry Hinkle, his son is racing in the TA series this weekend.
Yep.
That's Harry Hinkle in that car, followed by Ray Bontham, R&R Motorsports.
Yeah, Ray Bontham, Ford Mustang, that all-black car.
Harry Hinkle went off. You can see the smoke and the dust there.
You know, I'm wondering whether that, as we get into qualifying for TA and TA2, whether that exit to the corner there at the hairpin of 6 is going to become a problem, because a lot of people have been getting to the dust and dirt there, and that's fine, but if it gets worse, it becomes a rut. And once you get into a rut, then you can get in trouble. And of course, they can fix it overnight, but it won't get fixed today. Look at the lead while he's doing it. It won't
get fixed between the races, but Sebring International Raceway does a great job. Their team, Matt Muha, they bring the dirt out there. I see, because we like to walk around the track at night, and we'll see them out there pouring dirt and compacting it in so that we can have some great racing the next day.
Now, I saw Wally Dallenbach doing commentary or doing TV commentary in the pace car a couple of weeks ago for NASCAR, so I think we should have mic'd him up. He's so far ahead. He'll be back in Colorado cutting trees again before this race is over.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to go ask him if he'll come up in the booth with us a little bit. NASCAR commentator, seasoned professional, and no Trans Am Series, and Wally Dallenbach. He was our chief steward 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes, he was. And, of course, now we have Dorsey Schroeder as well. And there's that wonderful Bud car of Carmen Cusack. Cutlass. So it's a real smorgasbord, isn't it, out there in Group 10?
Carmen also races with us in historic Trans Am. So he's racing that Oldsmobile right now that looks like a TA car. And also maybe a GTO car, but then also he races an HTA. And unfortunately, Ike Keeler's not out there in the sister car to that car.
So we're watching action from Group 10, day one. This is a full weekend of racing from Sebring. And very much back to our roots as we start the 2021 season. Would you believe it? The 55th year of Trans Am. What a story. The longest road racing series in North America, a continuous road racing series in North America.
And the best.
And the best.
That's a beautiful car. They don't really equate Oldsmobile or Buick with race cars, but they did make some great race cars back in the day.
Oh, yeah. So coming up to 13, we're looking down high above, and the airport just in the distance. That's still an active airport, by the way. We often see the planes taking off. And you can see how this all came together. This was all part of the airport complex.
Uh-oh. Might have a pass.
To go racing. Last 5 minutes of this. So a chance to do some overtaking now. And at the moment, it's Wally Dollenbach by a country mile over Charles Wicht. Henry Gilbert is third. Frank Chioppettini is in fourth position. Mark Sharon in fifth. And Jason McCarthy in sixth, ahead of Lance Osak in seventh.
But I got to say, Wallow right now is in 11th, right behind Ray Bonthram, but he's trying to get up into 10th, trying to get into those Formula One points, and he's making a go at it. Wallow's in that Valvoline NASCAR-looking stock car. Ray is in that TA-looking GT1 Mustang.
What amazes me is
there he is. He took it.
Yeah.
He's now in the Formula One points. That's Wallow right there.
Nicely done.
Looks like a Mark Martin car to me.
a smaller Mark Martin car, yeah.
So wait, Rob Blake had to go all the way back to 14th, started in second, and now he's worked his way back. There's Stephen Davison and Debbie Cloud. Stephen Davison in that beautiful Aston Martin.
Is that what he raced in Trans Am with?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
In 1 year, he put 10,000 race miles on that Aston Martin, and he won our class. He raced in International GT, and he won the GT Series in Trans Am.
So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty in this one. Dollenbach now leading by over 28 seconds.
Oh, somebody's off at the hairpin.
Oh. Well, that changes.
Rob Blake comes on the inside.
We are at the hairpin now. Let's have a look at who has drifted. No, whoever it was.
Back on.
Yep. Has managed to get it back together. Maybe. Yeah, we're looking high above, and that's at the Fangio curve. Sorry, at the end of the Fangio straight at turn 10. Checkered flag is out, and there is Wally Dollenbach Jr. He's already passed. He's already headed back to the pits. What a wonderful race by Wally Dollenbach Jr. in the 44 to take the victory in the Ford Mustang Cobra. The 2000 Mustang well ahead of the chasing pack, and just what we want to see and just what we expect to see. Wicht is second. Charles Wicht in the Jaguar XKR. And then Mark Sharon comes across the line in third position. Jason McCarthy takes fourth. Frank Chioppettini is just down. And then Henry Gilbert in sixth position. And Lance Osak in seventh. Bobby Kennedy is eighth. So, high above Sebring, and we're about to do a very special draw in a moment. We'll just wait for Ben Sissel to come back, because we've got some really nice, cool shirts to give out, and we shall do just that. But a great race from Wally Dollenbach. I'm just looking at these wonderful shirts. They do look the business. SVRA on them. Cooling shirts, of course, so important. There's confirmation then. Wally Dollenbach in the Ford Mustang Cobra takes victory by a country mile over Charles Wicht in the Jaguar. Mark Charin in third position, and he got that third position right at the end there. Jason McCarthy in fourth position. Frank Ciappatini in fifth place. Henry Gilbert sixth. Lance Osek in seventh place. Bobby Kennedy, the youngster, in the Corvette, taking eighth position. Wallo Birchinger in ninth position.
Hey race fans, this is a replay, but to be able to watch the finest vintage racing in America live, download the app or scan the QR code and subscribe. Available on both Android and iOS, this is the only place to watch the 2021 season of SVRA live with over 10 hours of coverage each and every weekend. Our unique live stream coverage will bring you all the action from each group, as well as live timing, results and news from the biggest collection of vintage races in the USA. Subscriptions for the race weekend are just $9.99 per weekend or $59.99 for the season. To subscribe, download the SVRA app or scan the QR code now and be part of the future of American vintage racing with SVRA.